Part 4 of Witch of the Demon Seas by Poul Anderson. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Part 4. Rain and wind came, a lightning-shot squall, in which the Briseia wallowed and bucked and men strained at oars and pumps. Toward evening it was over, the sea stilled, and the lower clouds faded so that they saw the great dull red disk of the heaven fire through the upper clouds sinking into the western sea. There was almost a flat calm. The glassy water was ruffled only by a faint breeze, which half filled the sail and sent the galley sliding slowly and noiselessly northward. "Man the oars," directed Shorzon. "Give the men a chance to rest tonight, sir," begged Imazu. "They've all worked hard today. We can row all the faster tomorrow if we must." "No time to spare," snapped the wizard. "Yes, there is," said Corrun flatly. "Let the men rest, Imazu." Shorzon gave him a baleful glance. "You forget your position aboard?" Corrun bristled. "I think I'm just beginning to remember it," he answered with metal in his voice. Carissus laid a hand on her grandfather's arm. "He's right," she said. "So is Imazu. It would be needless cruelty to make the sailors work tonight, and they will be better fitted by a night's rest." "Very well," said Shorzon sullenly. He went into his room and slammed the door. Presently Carissus bade the men good night and went to her quarters, with the Irene trotting after. Corrun's eyes followed her through the deepening blue dusk. In that mystic light the ship was a shadowy, half-real background, a dimness beyond which the sea swirled in streamers of cold white radiance. "She's a strange woman," said Imazu. "I don't understand her." "Nor I," admitted Corrun. "But I know now her enemies have foully lied about her." "I'm not so sure about that." As the Conohorian turned with a dark frown, Imazu added quickly, "Oh, well, I'm probably wrong. I never had much sight of her, you know." They wandered up on the poop deck in search of a place to sit. It was deserted, save for the helmsman by the dimly glowing binnacle, a deeper shadow in the thick blue twilight. Sitting back against the taffrail, they could look forward to the lean waist of the ship and the vague outline of the listlessly bellying sail. Beyond the hull, the sea was an arabesque of luminescence, delicate traceries of shifting white light out to the glowing horizon. The cold fire streamed from the ship's bows and whirled in her wake. The hull dripped liquid flame. The night was very quiet. The faint hiss and smack of cloven water, creak of planks and tackle, distant splashing of waves and invisible sea beasts. Otherwise, there was only the enormous silence under the high clouds. The breeze was cool on their cheeks. "How long till we get to the Sea of Demons?" asked Imazu. His voice was oddly hushed in the huge stillness. "With ordinary sailing weather, I'd say about 3 days, maybe 4, answered Corrun indifferently. "It's a strange mission we're on, aye, that it is." Imazu's head wagged, barely visible in the dark. "I like it not, Corrun. I have evil feelings about it, and the omens I took before leaving weren't good." "Why then did you sail? You're a free man, aren't you?" "So they say." Sudden bitterness rose in the Umlotuan's voice. "Free as any of Shorzon's followers, which is to say, less free than a slave, who can at least run away." "Why, doesn't he pay well?" "Oh, why, he is lavish in that regard. But he has his ways of binding servants to him, so that they must do his bidding above that of the very gods. He put his gesh on most of these sailors, for instance. They were simple folk, and thought he was only magicking them a good luck charm." "You mean they are bound? He has their souls?" "Aye. He put them to sleep in some sorcerous way and impressed his command on them. No matter what happens now, they must obey him. The Gish is stronger than their own wills." Corrun shivered. Are you... pardon, it's no concern of mine. No, no, that's all right. He put no such binding on me. I know better than to accept his offer of a luck-bringing spell. But he has other ways. He lent me a slave girl from Umlotu for my pleasure, but she is lovely, wonderful, kind, all that a woman should be. She has borne me sons and made homecoming ever a joy. But you see, she is still Shorzon's, and he will not sell her to me or free her. Moreover, he did put his geis on her. If ever I rebelled, she would suffer for it. Imazu spat over the rail. So I am Shorzon's creature, too. It must be a strange service. It is. Mostly all I have to do is captain his bodyguard. But I've seen and helped in some dark things. He's a fiend from the lowest hell, Shorzon is. And his granddaughter... Imazu stopped. Yes? Asked Corun roughly. His hand closed bruisingly on the other's arm. Go on. What of her? Nothing. Nothing. I really have had little to do with her. Imazu's face was lost in the gloom, but Corun felt the one eye hard on him. Only be careful, pirate. Don't let her lay her own sort of engesh on you. You've been a free man till now. Don't become anyone's blind slave. I've no such intention, said Corun frostily. Then no more need be said. Imazu sighed heavily and got up. I think I'll go to bed then. What of you? Not yet. I'm not sleepy. Good night. Corun sat back alone. He could barely discern the helmsman. Beyond lay only glowing darkness and the whispering of the night. He felt loneliness like a cold hollow within his breast. Father and mother, his tall brothers and his laughing, lovely sister, the comrades of youth, the hard, wild, stout-hearted pirates with whom he had sailed for such a long and bloody time, where were they now? Where in all the blowing night were they? Where was he, and on what mission? Sailing alone through a pit of darkness on a ship of strangers? What meaning and hope in all the cruel insanity of the world? Suddenly he wanted his mother. He wanted to lay his head on her lap and cry in desolation and hear her gentle voice. No, by the gods, it wasn't her image he saw. It was a lithe and dark-haired witch who was crooning to him and stroking his hair. He cursed tonelessly and got up. Best to go to bed and try to sleep his fancies away. He was becoming childish. He went down the catwalk toward the cabin. As he neared it, he saw a figure by the rail, darkly etched against a shimmering patch of phosphorescence. His heart sprang into his throat. She turned as he came near. "Corun," she said, "I couldn't sleep. Come over here and talk to me. Isn't the night beautiful?" He leaned on the rail, not daring to look at the haunting face pale lit by the swirling sea fire. "It's nice," he said clumsily. "But it's lonely," she whispered. "I never felt so sad and alone before." Why, that's how I felt," he blurted. "Corun—" She came to him, and he took her with a sudden madness of yearning. Piraeus the Irene snarled as they thrust him out of her cabin. He padded up and down the deck for a while. A sailor who stood watch near the forecastle followed him with frightened eyes and muttered prayers to the amulet about his neck. Presently the devil beast curled up before the cabin. The lids drooped over his green eyes, but they remained unwinkingly fixed on the door. End of Part 4.